Hello everyone, I'm Steve. Mark's working late tonight, and this is Smokey Steve and Marc. Either welcome or welcome back, and happy Thursday. The weekend's upon us. I'm very excited. Very excited. I don't work on the weekends except for YouTube and the occasional Steve, can you come in? So I do look forward to my weekends. So I hope everybody is well. I hope everybody is safe. Look after yourselves. Look after each other. Some shit's getting weird out there. Well, it's been weird out there, but it's getting weirder. So keep an eye on yourself. Look after yourself, all right? So today, I thought we would do a little check-in with, how am I? How are you? We've done these videos before, too. I'm going to share. It's almost like a little share session. I'm going to share with you guys how I'm doing, pretty much with my resolutions. We're in May, and we had resolutions that started around New Year's time, January, February or so. So I want to check in on those resolutions with you. I had 2 that I'm working on. And kind of fill you in a little bit also about some stuff that's going on. Just day-to-day fun things. So, how am I today? I am good today. I am alive today. I am blessed and grateful for that. However, everything else kind of felt like a chore today. I felt nauseous getting up. I'm working from home and I was dreading work. Work was like here. The only difference is that you were gone and there was a laptop in your place. I mean, it wasn't that different, but just mopey, up, down today. Hot, cold. It is decidedly warm here, though. We're pushing 80, I think, in Northeast PA, which is a little warm for this time of year. And my mood's just been a little volatile. So where that kind of goes to is talking about the resolution I had. Well, one of them. Let's get the weight loss resolution out of the way first. I'm eating better, but I'm still eating too much. So the quality of my food has improved, but my calories are still too high. Too high for weight loss. I'm hovering at the moment. The best I can hope for is not be bloated one day so it looks like I have a thin neck. But I haven't gotten the discipline at the moment to do it. So I changed what I'm eating, but not how much I'm eating. I've been crutching on food for a little emotional support here and there. And it's, the body doesn't lie. It's like Dr. Oz says, the scale doesn't lie, people lie. So why lie? So that part is kind of, it's being addressed. It's not getting worse. They told me not to worry about, they being the professionals, my PCP and my psychiatrist said, don't get too hung up on your weight when you're changing medications, because they could go up, they could go down. This drug could cause weight loss coming off of it and weight gain going on it. You don't know what could happen. And I'm like, you don't understand. You don't understand. But so I had a test this week because as you guys knew, I told you I had a neurology appointment in April. Do you remember I started talking about this in October of last year? And it seemed like a cruel joke. Well, the cruel joke came to pass. And I actually had the appointment. Now, I've never been to a neurologist before, but the issues that I've been having were things that I was referred to a neurologist for. I was having twitching, numbness and tingling in my legs, involuntary leg and arm movements, which were escalating, decreasing my memory, shot. Was getting worse very quickly. Getting lost in the middle of talking, things like that. You'll notice probably some more of my videos are cut up and put back together rather than one long monologue. It's increasingly challenging for me to remember that much stuff all at once. So it's, I have to accommodate. I have to, deal with it. So I had an EEG this week. And it was I got the results back, but through my portal with my medical provider, they'll send you the test results before the doctor even sees them. So I always, I tried to take a peek and see what I could find out. It's like an EEG is trying to read my electric bill mixed in with some anatomy. I couldn't really decipher what was going on. The only conclusion that was at the bottom, and again, I have to have an MRI and a sleep study as well to see what else could be going around. We're running all these tests at this point. So a little abnormality, some slowing, bilateral, left more than right in the prefrontal I probably can't remember it because that's what's damaged. Or slowing or whatever it is. So that they were able to find. But that doesn't explain everything or even explain anything, really, yet. Again, I saw the neurologist, and the neurologist pointed back at the psychiatrist. And the psychiatrist said, medications have side effects. Some of these are extrapyramidal side effects, meaning side effects that people have as a consequence of taking these medications. And it's a trade-off. Do I want to be sane, or do I want to stand still? Do I want to be sane, or do I want to be under 300 pounds? And sanity for some folks is very achievable without the use of medication, and I'm trying to see if I can find a balance of my own, which is why my shrink is even part of this discussion. Because the psychiatrist who I'm starting with, who prescribes these medications that I take that perhaps have been the cause of the symptoms I've been having that we are now chasing down via test after test after test. I'm starting to come off of some of those. This is the resolution. The fat resolution we said is kind of on the burner. God forgive me, I'm such a loser. But beyond that, that wasn't pity seeking. It's one of those days, don't mind me. That and the medicine coming off slowly. So yesterday was Wednesday, and after I was coming off of, the drug was called Topamax. Some of you had said you'd taken it, had heard someone who took it, so you had some stories to share. We started titrating me off of it because I went to my doctor, and one of the goals was, I'm not opposed to medication when necessary, but how much of this is really necessary? I'm on a lot of stuff. They just get stacked onto you as the years go on, and the doctor adds another pill, and one for the side effect of this and this and that. So I am not brave enough to just throw my pills out. I think that's, stupid. I don't think it's brave. But so we get off Topamax officially as of yesterday. So that's it. So now I should have probably maybe some side effects, but probably not, because I've had it so far tapered out of my system. And now it's done. So one down. And the neurologist and I are planning on another one. So as far as that goal is going, with reducing the amount of medication I take, the amount of each drug, or using the entire medication at all as part of my cocktail for sanity. So I don't know. So we'll get the next one off, and then we'll see. My med thing, I do it once a week with I don't know. Anyone who takes a lot of meds, these things. They're great. And I had piled all mine up, and it's looking scanter. I'm like, that one doesn't go anywhere. No, I don't have any of those. I have these big bottles. There's another medication I had discontinued that was kind of a prophylactic thing. And I had stopped that. And then I'm actually not taking the correct dose of the medication I'm supposed to come off next. It's Neurontin, gabapentin. And I was supposed to be taking X amount, and I'm taking 1/3 of X amount a day. So I don't think I'm as juiced up on it as they may be worried about, because I didn't have it. It's been in my system consistently, but not in larger doses. Not in the large. My high dose was not that high of a dose. At least not as far as for mental health concerns. They give away Neurontin for everything. You got a toothache, you got a sty in your eye, they give you Neurontin for it. And in the psychiatry world, I had a doctor who had told me, and he was being polite, I guess. He said Neurontin in a psychiatric situation is prescribed when we've given this person everything and we don't know what the hell else to do. Almost as though it's like a psychosomatic, like, here, this couldn't hurt you, take this. And then people report results. And if they feel better, I guess. So the absence of the medication, compounded with the test that I had taken, which said all I had to see was the word abnormal. And I went, oh, shit. And I'm already starting jokes in poor taste about how I'm, going to get lost driving home. Marc got lost driving home the other day. It was funny, actually. He was driving a friend to an appointment or to a friend's house and got lost. I used to get lost all the time driving around here when I'd have bad times of year. Not episodes. I didn't lose the job. I wasn't stealing. I wasn't going broke. Just times of year where I was a little more risky or a little more flaky. I can't imagine what flaky would look like in the absence of high quality, very potent antipsychotic medication. I don't know if we'll find out. We'll see. Certainly not in year one of working with medications and recovery. So that's how I'm doing as far as the resolution goes. As far as my feelings about the whole thing, it plays on one of my absolute worst fears. We're having a cigarette, I'm sorry. The idea that I would lose my mind, Mark and I had this goes back, I didn't even think about this until Mark and I were in couples therapy. It's a weird place to have thought of it. They made us, she, our therapist at the time, our couples therapist, said, each of you list out the 3 most important things in your life. And some variation of relationship or love was at the top of Mark's, and the top of mine was sanity, and the second was Mark and relationship and other stuff. And I think he felt slighted by that, but my perspective is that I'm useless, completely useless, if I'm just not well. The sin of it is that I can be well generally with a fair amount of effort. I get spoiled because I respond to treatment pretty okay most of the time. So when I don't, I get like, is that fair? Forgetting that I live in free society, have a job, can work, I can drive a car, have a license. I'll do all these other things that other people with similar concerns can't do. So I've been fortunate, but part of that fortune is the hard work I did. So it's a little bit of both. Getting a test done that says, well, part of your brain, there might be something wrong. We'll look into it. And it's probably nothing. And if it is, what can I do? I've heard some interesting things about neuroplasticity, but we'll see. But it plays on the worst fear. I'd rather be dead than crazy is, kind of... we're not going to use funny words today. It's just us. I was so much more worried about being crazy than dead. And especially being in that scary place between sanity and insanity. When I imagine when people start to, if someone's experiencing memory loss towards the end of their life or whatever, and you start to realize you're forgetting things, and you start to realize that you're not recalling things you used to know. Big chunks of time are missing. There's a couple of years I can't recall. Even if I sat down pen and paper and said, let's not be lazy thinkers, let's really write down what we did. Because in therapy, you have to write down everything you did and why it was your fault. And I can't remember some of it. Not blocked out, I wasn't traumatized. It was just burned off like fog in the morning. So having a test that didn't come back well, compounded with the fact that I'm coming down off meds and that those might be giving me some mood swings. And I had texted Mark today and I was like, I'm just sick to my stomach. I'm just sick to my stomach with worry. Undifferentiated worry, if that makes sense. Idiopathic. There's no one thing is particularly a super concern, but putting them all together is, And like I said, losing my mind is more scary to me than dying, because that makes me like trapped in my head for the rest of my life. Maybe not knowing that I wasn't well, not knowing I was missing out on things, or being so sick that I'm not well enough to be out and about. And in out and about people, I've told folks in the chat, I've passed the disability requirements. You apply for disability with the federal government. 2/3 of people get turned down the first time. That's just the process. It's shitty, but it also needs to be vetting for fraud, waste, and abuse. I mean, that makes sense too. I love the system. I have no problem. I don't call them entitlements, but don't take advantage of it, because that's my money. I'm paying for your entitlements. You paid for mine when I needed them, and I will happily pay for yours, but don't be grimy about it, I don't want to end up having to have a conversation with Mark that is something like, if this is too hard for you, I understand. So that's like the harder, like that's in the worst parts of the head, Luckily, Mark and I have a good bit of communication, because he has some concerns with his own health as well. And we kind of look at each other back and forth. I'm like, I'll be the limbs, you be the brains, because, I can drive the car, but I don't know where we're going. I'll carry you to the porch and we'll get you out to the car somehow. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Love finds a way. So we'll be fine. We can look after each other even if we can't look after ourselves so great after a while. But, I don't know. I mean, who wants to be a burden? And that's always what trickles down, is useless. Useless again. I had a good run of adulthood, but now we're going to go back in and out of hospitals, and everyone asks you what you're doing, and you say, oh, nothing, or the usual, because you have nothing to say, because you've been locked up intermittently for a few years. I want that to stay the past, you know? So, well, I'm getting a little weepy, and I don't even have room for super chats to open up. That's a shitty Chantal joke. Don't. These aren't crocodile tears, but don't. I'm living. I've got a good life. It's, you know, things are good. I'm just having a time of it right now, and y'all are so nice to indulge me. So very nice. And so I'm happy to provide a place to indulge all of us. When we've done How Are Yous before, basically, you just found out how I'm doing. Feel free to say below how you're doing. You doing good? You doing bad? I hope you put something good. Don't take me as an example. I mean, if you're having a rough day, feel free to share within the limits of what you want to. Certainly don't be too specific. This is YouTube. But if you're having a hard time, you know, say you're having a hard time, maybe someone else in the comments is too. If you have something great that you want to note and celebrate, all the better. Bring it there too. You know, anyone who's having a rough time could use a hope shot. You know what I mean? Or just lurk and hang out and see what's what. So that's all I've got for today as the cigarette burns. My own little, this is my drama, my soap opera. As the cigarette burns, as the Mio spills. And, well, that's all she wrote, I suppose. So thank you all for listening. Thank you for indulging me. Feel free to make use of the comment section below. Ask for some support, provide it. I understand you're asking for support from folks on YouTube, but we have a really good group of folks in our community. So, thanks for watching. Please do subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you get alerts when we have new videos and when we go live. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram. Our email address and contact info is listed below as well. Thank you again, and we will catch up with you soon. Very, very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.